You're welcome at my house if you bring a cake anytime. Just putting that out there.
Welcome to the Exploring Washington State podcast. Here's your host, Scott Cowan.
So my guest today, Sadie, is, well, I'm going to read a bio that I see online right now. So it says that you're an aspiring chef, former MasterChef junior competitor, and you attend Lakeside High School.
Yes.
You're going to be a sophomore coming up?
I am. Yeah, I start school tomorrow.
Okay, so at the time of this, you're still a freshman. You're not a sophomore yet. Just kidding. Okay,
yes, that's true. That's true.
So my first question for you, totally not related, is: did you go to school virtually last year, or did you get to go in person at all?
So I was super fortunate so for the first semester we were entirely virtual, but for the second semester we had the opportunity to do hybrid learning. So I was in school for 1 week, and then the next week I was remote, and I would just alternate. And so I was very grateful for that.
So you don't have the big shock of going to school for the first time tomorrow. You've already walked the halls. You've kind of met some of your classmates in person and all of that. So that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we'll come back to school, but what I really want to know. So you competed in a food show. You've contributed articles and recipes to the Seattle Times. You're a high school kid. I got to call you a kid. I mean, come on. I mean, look at me compared to you, right? How did you get started with food? When did you figure out that food was something that made you happy?
Well, I've been interested in food since basically the dawn of time. It's something that connects my family. It's really a form of communication almost. So my mom is an amazing chef. She went to culinary school in France, which I hope to do someday.
Okay.
My grandma was also an incredible chef, and their love of food was just kind of passed down onto me. So yeah, I was interested in cooking and food and the world of cuisine and chefery since I was little. And it also connects me to my culture and my Jewish roots. And also I can use it as a form of communication with my friends. And what's better than bringing your friends over and presenting them with a big cake for no reason, and things like that.
You're welcome at my house if you bring a cake anytime. Just putting that out there. Feel free. Drive over. Well, you're not driving yet. Have somebody drive you over. Don't drive yet. Drive over. Bring a cake. You're welcome anytime.
Okay.
I think that's awesome that you just described that it's a way you communicate, and it's one of those big connectors within your family and with the heritage. I think that's so important to so many people, and I think we all would be better if we paid a little more attention to that versus just grabbing the food through the window as we're driving on in our busy lives. Mm-hmm. Going back to your earlier memories of being interested in food, what was the first thing you ever started making in the kitchen? Were you with your mom or your grandmother? Or do you remember, did they say, here, you can do this? What was that?
Sort of. I think one of my earliest cooking memories is just being my mom's sous-chef in a way, which basically just meant that she was like, oh, you can stir this pot, and that is your big cooking job for the day. And I was so excited about it. But I think the first real recipes I made with my mom and my grandma were bread. Particularly challah, which is delicious, and I love making it. It's so therapeutic to just knead the bread dough, and I've also kind of been relying on that as a form of a relaxation technique, if you will, throughout, the pandemic and this past year, especially because it's so nice to just knead the bread and think about my family and my cooking memories.
That's cool. See, I love that. That's amazing. So you started off stirring the pot, and you eventually graduated to, I guess I'm going to guess you. Well, let me ask you this question: at home, family meals. Who's cooking for the family?
Mainly my mom.
Your mom. Mom's got the duties, so mom's cooking. Okay.
Yeah.
But do you ever cook meals for the family? Do you ever say, "Hey, it's Wednesday. I got this. Let me do something."
Sometimes I do. Not really during the school year. That's kind of my excuse. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, Mom. I have so much homework. I wish I could help in the kitchen. I really do. But alas, I'm too busy with a history paper.
See, the problem with your strategy, now your mom can't listen to this part, but the problem with your strategy is if you play that card, you have to get good grades. You have to get good grades. See, if you say, "Hey, sorry, I got a history paper," and you get a C on it, mom's going to say, "You could have cooked and you could have helped out." So I'm just giving you some friendly advice to make sure your grades are good. And how are your grades?
My grades are, well, I have not started this school year yet.
How were your grades last year?
They were good. I had good grades. Thank you for asking.
Good for you. That's cool.
Thank you.
That's cool. All right. Well, let's go down that road. And I warned your mom when we talked, and hopefully she passes along to you, is that my questions will bounce all over the place. So, just don't get comfortable.
Okay.
What's your hope? What do you plan on doing after high school?
That's a great question. And I've given so much thought to that, but I still somehow do not have a solid answer.
That's okay.
I want to, at some point, go to culinary school like my mom.
Which one would you aspire to? Le
Cordon Bleu, just like Julia Child, my idol.
Okay. Julia Child is your idol. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
I want the dream school is Princeton.
Okay. All right.
I feel
why Princeton?
Okay. So I've planned it out in my brain. I will be going with my good friend, and her dad went. So primary source document. He loved it. And I love New York City. I have family in New York. My godkids live there. They're so adorable. And however, I would not like to live in New York City. I'm not a big fan of the noise pollution at night. But if I went to Princeton, I could live in this adorable little college town and be with my friends. But I'd also get have the benefit of, having full access to New York City. That is my reasoning.
All right. And put you on the spot. If you're going to go to Princeton, what are you going to major in?
I have no idea. That's a great question. I think I might want to go into palliative care like my mom. I think it's a really rewarding job, and I get to help a lot of people. And I think learning how to cope with grief is really important, and talking about death and how it relates to your own personal beliefs is also really crucial. And I think it's just a very interesting world to explore. So
I got to say, for somebody who's going to be a sophomore in high school, you really kind of got this dialed in, and it's completely cool if you change and you decide you want to go to Yale instead or something. It's okay.
Who knows?
Don't beat yourself up if you change your mind. Maybe you go to Columbia.
Yeah.
Junior in year. Okay. Well, let's go back to food though.
Okay.
So, stirring the pot with mom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a recollection of what was the first dish you prepared by yourself from start to finish?
I have a feeling it was mac and cheese. I don't know. I have this vague memory.
Was it, no, wait, I have to ask, are you talking mac and cheese like in a box? or mac and cheese, boiling the noodles.
Admittedly, it might have been boxed Annie's mac and cheese.
Okay. All right.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. Baby steps.
No, see, so how old do you think you were with this box of Annie's mac and cheese?
I want to say 5, 6.
So kindergarten.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we're just going to go with that as fact, just for sake of this conversation. You started cooking for yourself mac and cheese in kindergarten.
Yes.
Okay. Now that didn't really count because some of those ingredients were already prepared for you. Mm-hmm. How about the first thing that you can remember that you gathered all the ingredients from the refrigerator, from the pantry, whatever, didn't have to go shopping for them? What was that? And about how old were you then?
Probably challah, and I'd probably say that same year. It was a big, cooking's a big learning curve. You start with boxed mac and cheese, and then soon enough, you're making your own bread dough. It just goes like that. So,
well, some of us have stayed with boxed mac and cheese. Okay, so you started out in baby steps. So you started out in kindergarten, and that's kind of when this whole thing really began to gain speed for you. Would that be fair?
Yes, I think that is accurate.
So let's jump ahead to MasterChef. I'd like to hear, okay, whose idea was it for you to, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me. Apply. You just don't show up on the set and go, hi, I'm here today. Let's go. What was audition? There we go. Sorry. I was like, words can be hard for me sometimes.
I get that.
Whose idea was it for you to audition to be on TV?
Well, actually, it is like you said. I just kind of walked on the set and said, I'm here. And they were like, oh my gosh, we're so happy to have you. No, it was actually my aunt's idea for me to apply. I was going to LA in January of 2017, I want to say. And she knows I am an avid binger of all things reality TV cooking. I watch MasterChef Junior, Chopped, Great British Baking Show, Top Chef, even though it's kind of a MasterChef Junior ripoff, but that's another story for another day. Anyways, she was like, they are holding open call auditions for MasterChef Junior. And me, who had been watching it since first grade, was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I did not expect to get on to the show or even get as far in the audition process as I did. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of a YOLO moment. I was like, this seems like a fun thing to do. And even if I don't get far, I can still say I auditioned for MasterChef Junior, and I can still, flex some of my cooking talent. So that's how it all started.
Okay. How did you flex your cooking talent in the audition? I love that phrase. Thank you. That was awesome. What was it like when you showed up? What did they have you do?
So
it wasn't boxed mac and cheese, was it?
It was not boxed mac and cheese, believe it or not. But it was like a series of challenges, each one being a bit more difficult than the next. So at the basic level, I walked in there all fancy and ready to show off. And they were like, okay, now we want you to measure some water in this measuring cup with measurements written on it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did that. But then pretty soon they had me make dishes whilst being filmed on camera that were more and more complex. And so, yeah, it's a little climbing ladder of cooking.
And so how long did this audition process take?
I'd say it took, hold on. I started in January. We started filming in April. So.
Okay. So a couple of months. So there was a couple of months of this. Okay. Mm-hmm. So obviously we know you got selected.
Yes.
What was it like to be cooking with cameras and stage lights? Because I'm going to guess, I can't see your kitchen here at your house right now, but I'm going to guess if you were to move your camera, that your kitchen doesn't have stage lights and all that stuff. So it's different than what you're accustomed to, right?
Yes, very different.
So what was hard for you? What was hard to get adjusted to, or was it? I mean, what was that like?
It kind of worked out for me in some magical way because besides cooking, my other greatest passion is theater, and I love the stage lights, and I love the camaraderie, and I love all the action, all the fun stuff. And so it definitely was a bit nerve-wracking at first to be having a mic all the time and be under all of these stage lights. But I got used to it pretty quickly, and it was, I don't know, the attention was kind of nice.
you kind of liked it. So you see, if like, to be honest, like me, the fact that you can see me right now is about as public as I could possibly be. If there was 3 people watching this right now, I'd be freaked out. So I can't honestly imagine you or myself doing that. I think it's really cool that you did it. So I have not watched any episodes of that season, so I can't. I'm speculating here, and full warning, I'm totally speculating.
That's okay.
But I'm going to guess that in one of the competitions, you had you were challenged to do something, and you had this idea, like, I'm going to do blah blah blah, and it didn't work.
Yes, that happened several times.
I would love it if you would share one of those examples.
Oh,
what did you think was going to be like, aha, this is cool, and for whatever reason, it just didn't hit?
I'm trying to pick which one to tell you.
You can share more than one if you want. I'm not trying to be mean. Go ahead.
There was this one challenge. I believe it was the episode. I want to say the episode before the semifinals, and it was a tag team challenge. And I was paired with my good friend Malia, who is a very talented chef and wonderful person. And we had this plan, this strategy of what we were going to do. We laid it all out, and we were like, okay. We were making like a little tapas board. It was really cute with churros and these little like octopus snacks and some shrimp. There was a lot of seafood on there. It was delicious. Okay. But we had this plan of what we were going to do, and we wanted to do it really quickly just to get it over with, and then we could focus on plating and make sure we get the dish out in time. The problem is we worked too fast, which you might say, oh, that sounds like a good thing. You get things done early. It was not. Gordon Ramsay came over to us and totally just berated us for working too fast. He was like, you cooked the shrimp too soon. By the time I eat them, they're going to be dry. He could have eaten them then and there, but, he just didn't want it. I guess that's not how the competition worked. But there were just moments like that where they were kind of uh-oh moments. What do we do now? Or we screwed up a little bit.
I was okay. So how do I want to say this? I'm shocked. I think shocked is the word, that Gordon Ramsay would have said anything less than kind to any contestant on a show.
Oh, are you?
I'm shocked. Mm-hmm. That's okay. So that didn't go well because you cooked too fast. Okay. And Gordon took objection to you. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I can kind of see that happening. I really can. All right. The reason I ask is whenever I ask a question of somebody that, what didn't go right? Tell us about, you had this idea and you were going to do blah, blah, blah. And then it didn't work. We all learn something from that. I mean, you learn. So what did you learn from that experience besides not work so fast? Or maybe that was the lesson. But
sort of.
okay, all right.
I feel like I also learned how to pace myself. Yeah, that's literally the same exact thing. But I learned how to pace myself. I learned it was a great leadership exercise, and also it taught me how to deal with adults yelling at me.
I think we could just leave it at that.
Yes.
We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Well, actually, no, I am going to ask. I'm kind of putting you on the spot here a little bit.
Okay.
In your opinion, what, if anything, did you find out about Gordon Ramsay that you think is not all that well known?
A lot of people are very confused about who he is because, you know, he plays this big personality, big character on TV, mm-hmm. but he is also a character in his own personal life. He's also a really good mentor, I would say. And whenever I'd get overly stressed in the kitchen, and start acting like serious Sadie and be like, okay, I need to do this and this and this, he would help to remind me that cooking is about fun. It's about passion. And I don't need to take it that seriously. It's about starting from scratch and creating something beautiful and shareable with the world.
That's awesome. Do you think it would be fun to cook with Gordon Ramsay?
No.
What celebrity, because you said earlier that you binge watch all the reality cooking shows. Mm-hmm. Of the celebrities that are on those shows, is there one you'd like to cook with? One that you would say would be fun to have over, like invite them over to the house and use your kitchen? Who would that be?
Guy Fieri, 100%. I love his hair. That's all. That's all I need to say.
I'm speechless.
That's okay.
Guy Fieri because of his hair. So yes. Not because he's a talented chef, but just because
the man has style. I don't know. He seems like he'd be fun to hang out with, to be around. I mean, look at his hair. Who would, definitely not a Gordon Ramsay type guy.
No, he's not. But he's a long way away from your stated hero of Julia Child too. So
that too.
So who? Let me put you on. So we got Guy Fieri because of his personal style. Mm-hmm. Let's go with who you think would be a fun collaborator in cooking. Like who do you think would be fun? You know, personal style aside, because you know I could make fun of Guy Fieri here, but I won't. Okay. But no, so is there somebody else though that you think would be kind of a fun collaborator?
I think Julia Child. I resonate with her. Always add more butter to everything philosophy. I think it's
hard to go wrong with butter.
Yeah, it's a great way to live. And I also think, maybe just Julia. I would have said Giada De Laurenti, because she used to be one of my idols. But to be honest, Scott, I actually kind of have some beef with her now.
Do we want to dish dirt on the show? I mean,
we can. Here's the thing. So little tiny Sadie, who was in 5th grade, somewhere in the elementary school category. Mm-hmm. I went to Vegas when I was in 5th grade. And
every 5th grader goes to Vegas.
Every 5th grader. It's a wonderful place to be as a 5th grader. But we went to Vegas. It was for a work trip for my dad. And she has a restaurant there and I really wanted to go. So my parents were like, okay, Sadie, we can go for brunch. So we went and it was great. And then the waiter was like, oh, she's actually coming into town later today for a meeting. And I was like, is she here right now? Can I meet her? When is she coming? Where is she? Like, what's her exact location? Please let me know.
Give me your phone number.
Right, exactly. Give me the phone number, give me the email, social security number, 3 numbers on the back of the credit card, all that fun stuff. But I was, fantasizing about meeting her all day. And then my dad and I, we were in our hotel room. We were like, okay, we want to go for a walk. We want to get out of the hotel room. We walk down the stairs and we walk into the lobby and there she is standing right there. And she was on a phone call. So I just kind of, for like it was a really weird 30 seconds. I was just overcome with emotion. I just stood there for 30 seconds with my dad, like, staring her down, just hoping she'd get off the phone so I could come talk to her. And it was magic. She did. She got off the phone. And then literally as soon as I saw her put it down, I was like, okay, now's my chance. I can shine now. And I ran up to her and I was like, oh my gosh. Hi, my name is Sadie. I'm an aspiring chef. I am such a big fan. And, she probably got that a lot. And I was like this little cute tiny 5th grader. And she was like, oh, you're so sweet. Oh my gosh, I have a daughter your age. And we kind of made like some nice chatty small talk. And it was such a fun day. But then I was like, can I give you my email? And she was like, yes, oh my gosh, I would love that. I will totally email you. And so I wrote down my email for her. I hugged her goodbye. I got a photo with her. I posted it on my Instagram account in 5th grade. I'm not even sure I have that account anymore, but I did because I was so excited to meet her. And then she never emailed me. And then I got on her rival network because she was on Food Network, and then I got on Fox for MasterChef Junior. And so we have beef now. She probably doesn't remember me, but I have beef with her. Okay. That's my story.
That's your story. Okay. That's a great story, Sadie. That is a great story. Well, let's just hope Guy Fieri, if he ever promises to email you, that he does, because I'd really hate for you to have beef with him too.
Oh yeah, me too.
Okay. I'll ask you, what was your biggest takeaway about being on the show? Do you want to do it again? Do you want to do this competitive cooking, or was that enough? You've got, I jokingly say, you've been there, you've done that, you got the t-shirt. But how did you elaborate on the whole thing for you? What was it like? And would you do it again?
It was a really great experience. I don't think I would do it again. I think I've done my fair share of reality TV. I really came on the show to, better my cooking skills. And I also went on the show to receive priceless mentorship from all of the judges. And I think I got that. And I came home from the experience with amazing friends who I'm like family with now. I love that. Oh, my mom is next to me and she just gave me the picture of me and Giada De Laurentiis. And I know this is a podcast, so they're not going to see it, but this is me in 5th grade with her.
You were so tiny.
I was so tiny. I was like 3 feet. Oh my gosh. I am still tiny.
Because she's not very tall and she bent over to give you the hug.
Yeah. I, at the moment, Scott, am finally 5 feet. I am a proud 2 inches taller than Danny DeVito.
You've lived a full life.
I have. Crossed that off my bucket list.
You're taller than Danny DeVito.
Mm-hmm. I am. Okay. life accomplishment. I can die happy.
I don't know what else you got to look forward to. I just don't. I mean, Gordon Ramsay, you're taller than Danny DeVito, and you've got beef. And
I've got beef, yes.
It's all downhill from here. I'm sorry. I hate to burst your bubble, but the rest of it's just downhill.
I've already peaked.
You peaked. And that's not true at all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No,
not sure
because
if I agree.
Well, no, because you've done stuff since then too. You know how I found you, and I stumbled across an article that you wrote in the Seattle Times, and I can't remember what it was, but it was a recipe, and I was like, well, that sounds really kind of cool. And I'm reading it, and I go, I think I should talk my wife into cooking this. Not because my wife should cook, but because I know if I did, it wouldn't come out right. And I'm reading it, and I'm like, what do you mean this is a kid that wrote this? I mean, I was just like, are you kidding me? And not that it wasn't that I was just surprised. And so then I started reading more of your stuff. So that's how I first heard about you. And then we reached out to you on Instagram, and I have to give you a plug. I have to give you a legitimate, serious, sincere compliment, even though it might sound like I'm making fun.
Okay.
But we reached out to you on Instagram and said, hey, we'd like to have you on the podcast. Do you remember what you said?
I am not entirely sure.
I will tell you what you said. You said, I think that'd be a lot of fun, but you need to talk to my mom.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was I was really impressed that you just said, look, that's cool, but I don't know you, and talk to my mom. And so we reached out to your mom, joking. Your mom dropped the ball. Kidding. She and I talked on the phone. I had a great conversation with your mom. She's a character, as I'm sure you know. And here we are now sitting today having this conversation, which I'm finding to be very entertaining. So I'm very grateful that I stumbled across you in the Times. How did you get started? So you did the TV show. You're cooking with family and all of this stuff. And now, what was the motivation and the inspiration for you to be creating content in the newspaper?
So as soon as I got the job offer, I took it in a heartbeat. But what happened was, in 2018, 2018, I have no concept of time in my brain anymore.
It all blurs together with COVID. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. Childhood, Yeah,
your childhood's been destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. But way back then, at some point in time, when MasterChef Junior came out, the Seattle Times called me and wanted to do an interview so that they could write an article about me. And I met with this amazing man named Chris Talbot, and he interviewed me and wrote the coolest article about me. And it was the first article that had ever been published just about me. And I was so excited to see it. And then we basically had no contact for like 2 years. And then
so he didn't email you either.
He didn't email me either. These people with their hollow promises. So unfortunate. But then in 2020 March, he called my mom up and was like, hey, we're looking to expand our kids section of the Seattle Times. Would Sadie be interested in writing some articles for the Seattle Times? And I was like, heck yes, I would. And it sort of just kept going, and I kept writing articles, and then it turned into a weekly column, which was amazing. So yeah, that's how it started.
That's kind of cool. So the TV show was the springboard for the introduction to the Seattle Times. That's kind of the way, fame works.
Yes.
Of all the recipes that you published there, what's your favorite?
I knew a question like this would come up, but there's so many. All right,
give us a couple. Tell us a couple of them that you're particularly proud of.
Okay, so one of the first ones I published was my dear, delicious, wonderful, godly, beautiful mac and cheese recipe. And it was so good. And I love it. And then I also made...
Okay, wait. We're going to stop. We're going to stop you.
Okay.
We're going to stop you.
All right.
Earlier on in the show, you admitted to opening a box. So we're not going to pass. I'm kidding. I'm teasing you. We're not going to pass off, Annie's mac and cheese to the sales. So what makes your mac and cheese so good?
It's the real stuff. It's made with real cheese, believe it or not.
What type of cheese?
Any cheese your heart desires.
If I were turning you loose in the kitchen right now and I said, hey, I'd like to try your mac and cheese. I want you to make it the way you like it the best.
Well, see,
What cheeses would you go with?
I don't cook for myself. I cook for the people around me. So if I were making it for one family member, I may use cheddar. I may use Gruyere. I was going to say American cheese, but I would never use American cheese. That was just the first cheese that popped up.
We have standards.
Okay, we have standards.
Okay, cool.
No boxed Kraft mac and cheese. This is good stuff. It's bechamel based and it's delicious, like real mac and cheese should be.
Right. Okay. But I'm putting you on the spot. For you, what cheese do you like in the mac and cheese?
Mozzarella.
Okay. All right.
Easy answer.
So we've got this mac and cheese recipe that you are thrilled with, and you'll customize it for family members. I love that, except for no American cheese. Right.
Yeah.
Family member wants American cheese. They're voted off the family.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. But I interrupted you. You were going to say another recipe. So what was the other recipe?
In, I think, last September, it was like about the time when school was starting. I published a recipe for these peach muffins that are like so close to my heart. They're so warm and ooey gooey and peachy. That's a word. Peachy, yes. They're wonderful. And if you're gonna make one of my recipes, you should make those. Or if you're gonna get your wife to make it. Sorry, my bad.
You have no idea the trouble I'm going to get in by my wife for saying these things. You have just no trouble. You have no idea the trouble I'm going to get into. So, all right. But not only were you providing recipes, you were writing content too. So where are you? Okay, now today, where do you get your inspiration for food?
The people around me. I'm just going to keep circling back to this whole communication thing. I get inspiration from my mom mainly, from my friends sometimes. From, I think one of the wonderful things about living in Seattle is that, there's so much, you get so much exposure to all of these different types of cuisine, and also P&W food is delicious and so fresh and so wonderful. So I also get a lot of inspiration for food from things around me, whatever is available seasonally. And whatever. Sometimes I go through food phases where I'm like, oh wow, I really want to make pie, and then I'll just make one type of pie for like the next 2 weeks, and that's like the only thing I'll make. Or in a couple of years ago, I went through this huge pasta phase where the only thing I would make was like homemade pasta, and I like dyed it different colors. So I get inspiration from my phases as well, I would say.
So speaking of pasta and dyeing in different colors, have you seen the I know her as, I think, Salty Seattle?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of that stuff that I see on that Instagram channel is crazy.
I know.
What is being done. Yeah. All right. Well, you've referenced your mom a couple of times. So What's the best thing that your mom makes, in your opinion?
So she's really great at making classic French cuisine.
Okay.
And she sort of brought some of that knowledge to me. And now I know how to make French food, which is wonderful because it's a great cuisine. But she makes really amazing beef bourguignon. But oh no, you know what? The best dish she makes is she makes really good lemon chicken. It is a family recipe and no one else knows how to make it, but I do. And she does. And she's really, really good at making it. And I will eat like a bajillion plates of lemon chicken and rice.
I'd hate to see that recipe for a bajillion plates. That's a lot of chicken and a lot of lemon.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, all right. You mentioned, seasonal cuisine or seasonal ingredients, local stuff, love of the P&W. I love the fact that you like French food. I actually think that that's kind of cool because I'm a big fan of the fries.
Yes.
Sorry, that was really bad. That was really bad. Where are you? Do you go to many of the farmers markets in the Seattle area?
I do. Yeah, I live near the U District, near enough. So I love going there. A big family favorite is the Ballard Farmers Market. We have a lot of friends there. There's this one vendor. This is a little plug for them. It's called Pastoria Lucchesi, and it's wonderful. And they also catered my bat mitzvah. And it was amazing. And they make great fresh pasta. And they also have a crepe stand and a pizza stand there. And they're wonderful people.
Nice.
So,
okay. Yeah. What else? What else at Ballard Market have you stumbled across that that's caught your interest? Is there anybody else there at the market? I mean, there's a ton. Last time I was at the Ballard Market, there was. I mean, it's kind of daunting how many stands there are at the Ballard Market, frankly. But yeah. What else? What else at the Ballard Market?
Ever since I was little, I've been going to.
You're only 5. By the way, you're only 5 foot tall, so you're still little.
Yeah. Ever since life started for me, I have been going to Pete's Toffee, which is one of the stands there, and it's so good. And I will impulse buy like 3 containers of like toffee and just eat the entire thing in like one sitting. With my mom, not with my mom. No, she tries to steal it, but it doesn't really work.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work. No, I'm very protective over my toffee. That's one of my favorite places in the market.
Okay.
So it's really good.
All right. Before we go on to other favorite places, I want to back up. And you said you got some inspiration for food from your friends. Mm-hmm. So a question I have now, it's going to be a little, well, no, it's not going to be really difficult. You can go back to when you were in middle school or even grade school. Do you take your lunch to school?
I do not. No, I used to, but now I'm at fancy private school where they have vending machines. And
all right, so you're eating vending machine food for lunch.
Okay, and I'm proud of it.
You're proud of it. All right, so tomorrow's the first day of school. Mm-hmm. You're going to walk up to the vending machine. It's lunchtime. What are you getting?
That's a great question. It depends what there is. I would say, I don't know. As a small child, I was never allowed to indulge in junk food, like, or sometimes in moderation. But the first time I ever tried a singular Cheeto was last year. When I was in 8th grade. So, year before that. I was a sheltered junk food child. And I love Cheetos now, so I'd probably get Cheetos. I love Fritos. I don't know what is in them other than pure serotonin, but they're delightful. Any chips, really. I love chips.
Okay.
Mhm.
What Cheetos do you like? Because there's more than one, there's the deep fried and there's the puffed, and then there's the thermonuclear hot ones that are, that stain your fingers for days. What Cheetos do you like?
So this is all news to me. I've only tried the regular, the original ones. So I have to say the original ones.
Okay. Because, back in the day, there was two types. There were these puffed ones, and then there are the ones that were fried they're kind of not puffed, and they were kind of crisp when you bite into them. They're in the orange bag now, if you will.
Okay.
But they make a, I don't know, thermonuclear hot Cheeto, and they're, in my opinion, they're disgusting. They're just awful. They're
Not
just
a big fan.
awful.
Aww.
But and it's literally deep red. Wow. When you eat Cheetos, you get orange. Your fingers are orange, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. No, these will be deep red.
Wow.
I can't recommend them. If you like hot, you might like them, but no, not for me.
I'll try them. I'll try them once.
You're gonna eat from the vending machine. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm not gonna that, and I did that in high school too. My go-to high school lunch was 2 cans of Coke, a Hostess fruit pie, and a candy bar.
Wow. What a balanced meal.
Perfectly balanced meal. It had all the sugars that you needed for the week in one meal.
Definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was pretty bad. And it was always a Charleston Chew candy bar, which
I love those.
Yeah. Okay. Most people don't know what they are, but yeah. And you put those in their freezer and they're amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that was my nutritious high school experience a long time ago.
That's great.
When you were bringing lunches to school, what did your lunches look like? Don't tell me it was white bread with American cheese.
It was not. It was actually Velveeta. No. It was different every day, and I am so grateful to my mom for offering such variety in eating choices. I got pasta a lot. I got soup.
Really?
I got sandwiches. I got everything.
You were one of those kids that always had an interesting lunch. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That brings me to another question, because this whole episode you have talked glowingly about food. Mm-hmm. French food, pasta, glowing, toffee. Mm-hmm. What don't you like?
Okay, so
there's got to be something that you don't like.
Okay, well, I do have a philosophy that I think it's good to try everything at least once, unless you're like anaphylactically allergic to it. But then you'll know. Mm-hmm. I think everything is edible at least once.
Okay.
I do not like durian. It's one thing that I cannot eat.
Have you tried it?
I have.
Have you tried it?
I have. My dad was born in Thailand, so he is a durian fanatic, and I cannot even be in the same room as it. It is, I don't know, have you smelled it before? It's like a rotting flesh. It's not appetizing.
No.
Not even comparable to a bag of Cheetos.
No, not okay. So durian, but durian's very polarizing. People like it, or I've never heard or met anybody who goes, yeah, durian, yeah, it's okay. I'm okay with it. You either go, yeah, I'll eat it and I like it, or
no.
But what else? So more mainstream. What have you tried? Because it sounds like you've tried everything. I mean, not everything, but you've tried foods, and so you have an open mind. But like for me, like I do not like pumpkin.
You know what? Nor do I.
I like pumpkin pie.
Oh, not good.
Is good. Something. Next, I can totally just like, no, thank you. I've tried it. Don't like it. Don't want it.
Yeah.
How about for you though? What's out there that people like that just doesn't work for you?
Okay, so this is very controversial, and you may have some listeners stop listening after this point.
Now that's a risk we're going to take.
Okay. All right. I do not like pizza.
Okay, I'm hanging up on you.
No, not you.
I had no idea that you were going to be this controversial.
I told you. I gave a content warning.
How? Okay.
I have grown to be okay with it. And if I am at like a friend's house and we get pizza for dinner because we don't want to make anything, or it's really late at night and, pizza's just an easy option, I will eat it. I am open to that. But would I make it for my friends and family? No. Would I order it in a restaurant? Absolutely not. It's tolerable, but I'm not a pizza fan.
So, wow. Because there's nothing on a pizza, no ingredient on a pizza that you haven't already stated you like. You like bread, you like cheese. Well, we haven't talked about, tomatoes, but I'm gonna guess that you're okay with tomatoes. So it's interesting to me that make those combinations and it doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
But what's really important here about pizza is and it's got to be a yes or no answer. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh,
this is yes or no.
Okay.
Pineapple on a pizza. You and I can still be friends.
Okay, great.
Okay, cool. Good answer. But wow, pizza. Okay, I'm shocked by that. All right. I'm going to drive over to Seattle. We're going to get your mom, your dad, you. We're going to get in the car, and you're going to take me and show me some restaurants that I need to check out. Gladly. So we've already ruined it because you're not going to take me to any pizza places.
I will not.
Where are we going? What? It's help me out. I've got all day. We're going to eat our way through Seattle. So we're going to start with breakfast and we're going to end up with dessert. Okay. Where's a breakfast place in Seattle or in the Seattle area?
Going, just brainstorming, spitballing from off the top of my head. Portage Bay Cafe for breakfast.
Why is that?
I think they have a great variety of dishes, and ever since little Sadie existed, ever since I existed, I have been getting their Swedish pancakes, and they are to die for. They are so good, Scott. You have no idea. They also have this really good Dungeness crab cake Benedict, which is really tasty.
That would yeah. I'm not a pancake fan, so I'd go the crab Benedict.
Okay. All
right, but here's a question. And I don't know how you're going to answer this, so this is going to be an interesting question. And it's okay if you answer no, by the way. I'll let you, the pizza, you've already broken my heart for the pizza.
My apologies.
Yeah, it's okay. I had no idea I was going to be this sad. Are you a fan of coffee?
I love coffee. I'm a Seattleite. How could I not? It's why I'm so short, Scott.
Well, I've drank coffee since I was 8, and I'm 6'4", so you imagine how tall I'd be if I wouldn't have drank coffee as a kid.
I was drinking coffee fresh out of the womb. So
okay, so Portage Bay, do they have good coffee?
They do. They have good coffee. Right. Yeah.
So we're going to Portage Bay Cafe for breakfast. And now, me being me, I'm going to say, hey, I need a cup of coffee after breakfast, because that's how I roll. Where are we going to go to get coffee?
To get coffee, that's a great question. I'm gonna say, well, it depends. What kind of coffee do you like? Do you like lattes or espresso, or are you? Gonna go out on a limb here. I don't think you're the frappuccino type guy, but maybe. What do you like?
I'm surprised that you figured out that I'm not a frappuccino fan. My go-to drink is just regular black coffee. So if I go to an espresso bar that only serves espresso beverages, I'm either going to have an Americano or a doppio. So I like someone's coming into the studio, but we can keep going.
Oh, okay.
She'll sit here. So I am not a foo drink person. So, yeah, what are you going to recommend?
Okay, I'm going to say either we go back to my house. We have this great coffee machine. It's like, one of the fancy Starbucks barista ones. Delicious. Make wonderful Americanos here.
Perfect.
Or maybe Zoka coffee.
Oh, yeah, Zoka's good.
Pretty good.
Okay.
It's
all right.
Near-ish my house.
Yeah, you're redeeming yourself.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
So we've wandered around. We maybe went to the Ballard Farmers Market, walked off some of breakfast. Now about lunch. Where are we going for lunch?
Are you a burger person?
Look at me. Do I look like I'm a burger person?
Okay, so in Madison Park, there is arguably the best burger place known to man. It's so good. I have no words to describe this place. It's called Scoop du Jour. It's kind of it's very underrated. What am I saying? Not many people know about it. Not many people go there for burgers. It is an ice cream shop, but in the back they make burgers. And they are so delicious. And if you're going to ask me, Sadie, what should we do for dessert? After we go to Scoop du Jour, we can get their ice cream too. They have really good Moose Tracks ice cream. I'm a big Reese's Peanut Butter Cups fan. So,
all right.
Yeah.
And then, since we've worked up an appetite by having a burger and ice cream, flash forward to dinner.
Oh, dinner. So I am something you should know about me. Though I may be small, my ability to consume steak is out of this world. I am a big carnivore, and I will devour a 24-ounce porterhouse in like 15 minutes by myself. So it just makes sense for me to take you to my favorite steakhouse, Asadero in Ballard, and it's like right next to the market. So it's so convenient. It's great. They have really good stuff there. I'd probably get.
What? Okay. Yeah. What would you get? Well, you just said porterhouse, but what would you get? Probably.
They have really, really good quality Wagyu. But if if we want to stay away from the pricey side,
okay, I'm buying. It's okay. You can spend.
Well, thank you. That's very, very kind of you. Maybe filet mignon tacos with bone marrow. It's so good. I love bone marrow so much. I've been eating it since I was little, and it's so good. I would get the bone marrow filet mignon tacos. It's like the perfect amount of like fatty and salty and melt in your mouth wonder. Or I'd just go classic and I'd get a steak. Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. So we're going to wrap this up. I got a few more questions for you. So because you just said a word and it sparked, I wasn't going to go this direction because I hadn't thought about it, but you said a 4-letter word that is amazing. And you said taco.
Oh, yes. It is quite an amazing word.
I'm always on the looking out for taco recommendations. You got any taco recommendations besides these filet mignon and Maro? That sounds amazing. But let's just go more traditional street taco fare. Any suggestions?
I'm going to say, while they do have my favorite tacos in Seattle, because bone marrow and filet mignon, enough said, there's this little food truck, right? That's like 5 minutes away from my house. It's right near Seattle Children's. It's called El Camion, and they have pretty good tacos. But my favorite taco place ever in Seattle, other than Asadero, is Agua Verde. And I was literally just there 2 days ago with my friend eating tacos because it's so wonderful. They have do you like
So what type of tacos did you get?
birria
Oh, all right.
They're really, really good birria tacos.
Okay.
And they're just so like juicy and delicious and flavorful and wonderful. And they pair really well with a nice bowl of crispy tortilla chips and some guacamole.
We could get along just fine, even if you don't like pizza. I mean, really,
Okay.
you're making it up. The coffee and the taco things, you've
redeemed myself. That's good to know.
But I want to wrap this up because you and I could keep talking to you for a long time, and hopefully in the future we will.
Yes.
A couple of final questions for you. When you're not cooking and you're not in school, what do you like to do for fun?
I love theater, and well, that's kind of an in-school thing as well, but I love theater. Mm-hmm. I love performing. Okay. I love having that sort of creative outlet to just express myself. I also, not many people know this, but I love ukulele. I love playing ukulele so much. It is so relaxing, and I can just sit in my house and stare out the window on a nice sunny day and look at the Burke Gilman Trail, which we live right next to, and just strum on my ukulele with my cat at my feet and a nice taco in my hand.
Awesome. All right. And then hopefully this is okay for me to say this, but your mom mentioned it and you mentioned it when we were talking on the phone before. You are in process, I guess is the word I can use, mm-hmm. of putting together a cookbook.
I am. Yes.
What can you share with our audience? I'm going to guess it's your 50 favorite pizza recipes that you're going to be doing.
Oh, it is Hawaiian sataki.
Yeah, perfect. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, do you have a theme that you're going to be working on?
I do, actually. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a couple of years now. And I don't want to give too much away, but I'm going to say
I don't want you to do that either.
It's going to be something that you've never seen before. It's a clever idea, and hopefully I will be able to get this idea out of my brain and into an actual book. But it's going to be fun.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to that. And we'd like to have you back on to talk about that when you get closer to being able to do that.
Love that.
The other thing we talked about, once again, hopefully I'm not putting words in your mouth, and you please speak up and tell me, don't. But we have talked to you about the idea of maybe you helping out with some content on our site for possible ideas of places to go and eat in the Seattle area that are teen friendly. That's something you still think you want to do?
Yes, very much so. Yeah. I would be honored to do it.
Well, honored's a little strong. Come on now. I mean, I made fun of you for boxed mac and cheese and not liking pizza. You don't want to honor anything. But I think that, what I'd like to say is that I'm looking forward to you working with us and getting us some content for teens.
Yes.
Especially because I have a feeling you're not going to say you're the top 3 burger places in Seattle are Jack in the Box, McDonald's, and Burger King.
I've never been to any of those places, believe it or not.
Are you kidding me?
Remember, sheltered junk food child.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're okay.
Rest assured, I will not.
I almost want to talk to your mom and dad and see if we could actually have you go and try those places and review them.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
That would be really bad. Go have the Jack in the Box tacos.
Hey, let's do it.
And we might ruin it. Might just destroy your view of life. It might not be a good idea. But as we wrap this up, if anyone wants to find out more about you, are you currently doing anything online where they can go and see your adventures or anything like that, or are you taking a hiatus at the moment?
I have sort of taken a social media hiatus, but you are welcome. People are welcome to go check out my Instagram, even though I haven't posted for a very, very long time, and I cannot guarantee that there will be a posting schedule that will happen and be consistent.
Okay.
But it's at Sadie Eats Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll put a link in the show notes there. But you're not like doing TikTok or anything?
Believe it or not, I am not doing TikTok.
Well, the fact that you haven't tried any of those Mac, or if you get the idea. If you haven't tried that, I'm not surprised.
I'm just not hip like that.
No, you're not hip like that. Well, I'm going to let you go because, like, when we started this off, tomorrow's your first day of school, so I'm sure you're looking forward to that in some manner, and it's exciting. And I really am glad we were able to make this happen. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, same.
And I think that I think you've got a great outlook, and I'm serious. I got to come over to Seattle one of these days, and we'll all go out and try. We're going to go try some of those places together. I think that would be an absolute hoot.
Agreed.
And so I appreciate you. I will email you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Actually, I will email your mom because that's the email address we have. Okay, but we will reach out. But we will talk soon. And thank you for being on.
Thank you so much. I've had so much fun doing this. Thank you, Scott.
Join us next time for another episode of the Exploring Washington State podcast.